are out on Mille Lacs Lake today, chasing walleyes. I'm up on the northern end of the lake. Now, guys and gals have been fishing for walleyes for maybe a week or two down on the south end over by Isle, but ice conditions are finally starting to get close up here on the north end. I was able to grab my spud bar and be extremely cautious, spudding my way out, and I was able to find some safe ice in good fishable water here. So we got some big wind coming up the next few days. I'm not sure how long these conditions will hold, but for now, we're fishing walleyes. All right, we got a dead stick popping off. All right, I had a shiner on this particular rod here. Man, he already took out a lot of line. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him a little bit more, crank that drag tight. All right, let's see what I got here. There we go, on the board. I've been out probably about 10 minutes and the dead stick pops off right away on a shiner, of course. Shiners can be pretty deadly. Oh, I can see him. It's a really, really solid walleye already. Ooh. Ooh. Look at that. On the board on Mille Lacs Lake. That is an awesome walleye. What a way to start out the day. We were super cautious on our way out here, so we didn't get out till about 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, my heart is beating right now. This dead stick rig, all I had was just a tiny little #2 pink hook here and a decent sized shiner. And check it out, on the board on Mille Lacs. Beautiful fish. This thing is probably, I don't know, 21, 22 or so. Really solid fish. So I'm just excited to be back out on the lake, ice fishing walleyes in my backyard, Mille Lacs Lake. Super pumped. All right, now since that thing popped off on a shiner, of course, I'm gonna put another one on there. Pretty simple system. All I do is just put it right through the back like this. I happen to be running a single hook today, but I'm actually a pretty big fan of treble hooks as well. So I guess before I drop it down, I'll give you a quick look at my system. Right here, I have all fluorocarbon. This is about 6-pound fluorocarbon. I have a swivel right here. There, now you can see it against the sky. A swivel, and then, I don't know, about 1.5 feet or so down from that, I have a couple split shots, and then another 1.5 feet or so, I have down to the minnow and the shiner. I do have a number of fat heads in my minnow bucket as well, and I like to have those not only for minnow heads for your spoons and minnow baits and whatnot, but also for your dead sticks like this, because one of the biggest downfalls of fishing shiners is the fact that they're not quite as durable. So oftentimes if you don't have the right kind of water, or the water's too warm, for instance, you might drop the minnow, drop that shiner inside the hole, and the cold water from the lake will actually stun the shiner and kill it. That's one thing to keep in mind when you get out on the water. Make sure that you put a little bit of fresh water from the lake inside your bucket so that the minnows can get acclimated to the new water temperature. I don't like to run my flasher all around and take it out of the hole and check depth. So what I do is I put the sinker all the way down to the bottom, and then I just reel up 1 revolution, 2 revolutions. And that's gonna be the perfect height off the bottom for me. I've checked that distance ahead of time, and you just set it up in the dead stick and make sure you loosen up the drag. 2, 3, 4. I do 4 cranks on the drag, and that's about enough for the line to come off super easy. And I love these dead stick setups because you get to fight them on the rod, of course, which is a nice bonus. But in addition to that, they're super mobile. It's really easy to just reel up quick, drop it in another hole. And yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I like using a dead stick when I'm out trying to cover water on a big lake like this. There we go. I think this is a tulipy. Oh no, look at that. a nice perch. Sweet. Check that out. Just a solid Mille Lacs perch. And this thing was chasing me up and down like a tulipy. You'll notice that it doesn't tend to be a walleye when they yo-yo up in the water column like that. Typically it's a tulipy, but sometimes it's a pretty nice solid perch there, which there tends to be some of these here in Mille Lacs. And actually they get a lot bigger than this one, but this is a pretty nice solid one. This one bit the pink puppet minnow. That's a pretty darn big bait for a perch, but you know, when it's early ice like this, the fish are aggressive. Let's get this one back in the water. All right, so I'll give you a quick rundown on my setup here. Right now, I am jigging a 1/4 ounce buckshot spoon in a fire tiger color, kind of imitating perch, and I got a minnow head, of course, down below. And in addition to that, I have another stick handy. And on that, I have just a minnow bait. Right here is a puppet minnow. I think this is about, I want to say this is the 2.5 inch model, so it's pretty big. A number 4. I guess if you were fishing a jig and wrap, it would be kind of the equivalent to like a number 7 or so. So oftentimes I like to fish baits that are a little bit bigger on early ice like this because the fish are more aggressive. But one thing that I like to do is I like to have 2 different style baits handy. So I got the puppet minnow here, and I'll jig that for probably 15-20 minutes, and then I'll switch over to the buckshot, so I give both baits, you know, a fair shake. Right now on early ice, this is as aggressive as these fish will be all year long. So, you know, if you like fishing rattle baits for walleyes, you know, maybe you spent some time up on Lake Winnipeg, up in Manitoba, or you know, anywhere north of the border. But if you spend time up there and like using rattle baits, now would be the time to bust out your rattle baits. I know my buddy Brett McComas loves using rattle baits, but I don't use them a ton. But I do love these minnow baits, especially in clear water like this, because fish can really see them from a long distance away, and that erratic jumping action will call them in. So, and I like using the bigger profile. Another quick tip on presentation I'll give you is that a lot of people, one mistake I see a lot of people make is they fish too close to the bottom. So they might be fishing, you know, around a foot from the bottom. And what I like to do is I like to fish anywhere from 1 foot to like 4 or 5 feet off the bottom. And I promise you, if you start jigging higher up in the water column like that, you're gonna mark more fish because the fish can see it from a lot farther away. Now, in addition to the 1-2 punch of a minnow bait and a spoon, I also have a dead stick set up about 30 feet behind me. And what I like to do with my dead sticks is I like to set them up either deeper or shallower than where I'm fishing. When it's morning time like it is right now, I'll usually set them out deeper because I like to fish and jig my active baits up in the shallow areas where I think those fish are most likely to set up early in the day. And then throughout the day, you know, so in low light periods, walleyes tend to like to move up on top of structure. But then once the sun gets up over your head in midday, they will generally push off into deeper water. So what I like to do is use my dead stick as an indicator of when I should be moving deeper or shallower. So right now I have my dead stick out in 19 feet of water. Right now I'm jigging in 17 feet of water. If I start to see more action on my dead stick, then I know those fish have started to push into deeper water, and I'll take my entire spread and my entire setup here and I'll push it a little bit deeper. I will probably put my flasher in 19 foot of water, and then I'll put my dead stick out in 21 foot of water. So I like to use my dead stick as an indicator of when I need to be moving as I'm keeping track of the walleyes throughout the course of the day. Finally got the camera set up. This was actually a dead stick. This thing took out like a mile of line. You gonna scoop them for me, Brad?
Do you need an assist?
I wouldn't mind it.
Okay.
So Brad actually snuck out with me here. Just, you probably got out here, what, 45 minutes ago?
Yeah. Ooh, can you see him?
Yeah.
Ooh, he's a nice one, Nick. First walleye on Mille Lacs.
Second.
Second.
I had one earlier this morning.
There he comes.
Whoa, nice.
There you go, bud.
Thank you. Much appreciated. All right, there we go.
That one's chunky, man.
Yeah, it's a sweet fish. Second one of the day. It kind of took, I was out here, what, like 9:30 or so, and now it's like, I don't know, 6 hours later, so it's been a slow day for me, but we got another one here on the ice. I think I'll share next time if we have another tip-up pop-up. We actually missed 3 fish in like the last 20 or 30 minutes or so. I have a feeling we're gonna have a few more chances before we pack things up here, before it gets too dark.
Straight up. Whoa, he's running. Woo! There she is. Oh, come here, come here, come here. First of the year Mille Lacs walleye right there, baby. And that looks like it might be a keeper slot fish. So awesome. And look at the way he ate that spoon. Just boom. Awesome.
It's a chunker.
That's a super big fish. Or not giant fish, but like, that's not a bad guy. You got some 21, somewhere in there, you know? But anyways, it feels good, man. It feels good to knock the dust off, get the first fish on Mille Lacs this year, and I'm gonna drop it right back. See you later, bud.